Hello everybody, good morning. Students of class 12th Commerce. Welcome to Pandasar's virtual class on macroeconomics, and today the topic of our discussion is institutional and general factors. So in this series we have been discussing various factors after getting the independence. Once the planning was started in the year 1950, then what are the suggested changes by our planning authority to bring changes or to make our primary or agricultural sector more developed. So in the first class, that is in the last class, we have discussed about the technical changes that were suggested and changed with the suggestion of our planning commission. And today we will be discussing the institutional and general factors that were changed in order to make the primary sector or agricultural sector of India more developed. So in this series we will first discuss the institutional changes, and after that we will discuss the general changes, the general factors. So coming to the institutional changes, here we have got 2 points. The first point is in order to make India more developed in agricultural sector, or in order to make the activity of farming more profitable, the government decided to cancel or withdrew the Jamindari system introduced by the British people. We have discussed that the Jamindari system or the mediatory system was introduced by the British for their own convenience, because it was a tough job to collect tax from all individual farmers. That's why a given area was assigned or allotted to a person called the Jamindar, and it was his responsibility to collect taxes from individuals of those areas who were involved in farming activities. But in this case, actually the amount being paid by the farmers was too high, and because they themselves were not the owner of the land, they never put heed, they never took care to develop the quality of the land they were cultivating, which gradually started the total productivity or total production of food grain decreasing or declining. So the planners here abolished the Jamindari system and made the cultivators of the land its owner. That means if I am cultivating a piece of land, then I am its owner, and I have to pay a prefixed amount of grain or money as land tax to have that piece of land. So whatever more I am producing is my property. So in this case, the farmers were encouraged to do farming and to bring the qualitative improvement of the piece of land they were cultivating. So this is the abolition of Jamindari system. And the second point is Imposition of Land Ceiling Act. This is a breakthrough. This is a revolutionary change made by the planners of India, that Imposition of Land Ceiling Act. Earlier what happened, rich farmers used to have more holding of land, and small and marginal farmers having very little land at their disposal. So in this way there was no similarity between rich farmers and poor farmers. The rich farmers became richer and richer and richer, and their land holding went on increasing and increasing, whereas the poor farmers' condition was not so good, and the land at their disposal started declining and declining. So in order to overcome this problem, the Planning Commission of India introduced the Land Ceiling Act, in which that a single household, what is the volume of land, what is the magnitude or quantum of land a single household can have with it was made fixed as 5 acres of land per household. And if he has more land, then it would be taken away and it would be distributed among those people who don't have any land. So why this process? Why only on land? Why not on in case of other properties the ceiling is fixed? The chief argument behind this is that land, the supply of land is quite fixed in nature, and whatever we may do, we cannot increase the supply of land. So, being a fixed asset which supply cannot be increased, it is a genuine decision by the Planning Commission to introduce the Land Ceiling Act. So, these are the institutional changes brought by the Planning Commission to make Indian farming sector more prosperous. And now coming to the general factors, these are some of the points, these are some of the areas where our planners suggested to bring change, desirable changes, so that the agricultural sector would become more organized. The first point is development of irrigation facility. So, I have been repeatedly saying that Indian agriculture has been a gamble of monsoon. That means, if monsoon is good, then crop will be good, farmer would get profit, or else it won't get any profit. Now coming to general factors that were changed in order to bring desirable change in the agricultural sector. In general sector, the first point is development of irrigation facilities. So, students, you know, unless we have a assured supply of water, we cannot gamble and invest in agricultural activity. And it is quite popular that Indian agriculture is a gamble of monsoon, and if monsoon is not quite good, then the farmer cannot grow crop properly and earn profit. So, but being India, being such a country that it has plenty of supply of water, and but we have failed to utilize it for irrigational purposes. That's why in order to improvise the irrigation facilities, what the government did is more groundwater were being used. So after this 1950, the Planning Commission suggested that there must be a change in the availability of groundwater. And we have a plenty of groundwater because we have plenty of rivers in our countries. But unfortunately, in the past, that is prior to 1950, we were not using the groundwater sufficiently. But now initiatives were taken to use more and more groundwater to assure the irrigation facilities and to assure a good harvest at the end of the crop. Then the next point is construction of more MPP, where MPP stands for multi-purpose projects. So what are these multi-purpose projects? Multi-purpose projects are such projects where with one project we yield more than one work. Say for example, hydroelectric project means constructing a dam across a river and block the water and use it for the generation of electricity as well as for irrigation facility. So such projects are called MPP or multi-purpose project. So now according to the suggestion of the planners, more investment were done in the field of developing multi-purpose project in order to assure proper irrigation facilities and good crop. And in this way, due to these two changes in the general factor category, what the result we achieved is that total area of land under cultivation increased drastically. That means now previously what was the total area of agriculture, now it increased more, so more area under agriculture, more area used for agriculture means more production, which contribute to self-sufficiency in the production of food grain. Then the next point is introduction of and spread of dry farming. Actually, our scientists, agricultural scientists and researchers did a lot of research in order to develop such seeds which can be grown with the minimum supply of water. And because such seeds needed very less water, very little water, that's why in areas where there is not scanty of rainfall, not plenty of rainfall, we can use those seeds for agricultural purpose. So this contributed to more production of food grain. Next point is introduction of organized markets. Organized markets are marketing cooperative society, where the farmers became able to sell their product directly in the market or directly to the government. Earlier what happened, there were intermediaries and they kept a large chunk of profit of the product, and the farmers were not getting proper price of their product, and economically they never became prosperous. But now what happened due to this change, that is the setting up of organized markets or marketing cooperative societies, now the government directly purchased the crop from the farmers, and the farmers were ensured the right price of their product, and their profitability increased. So here there is a problem actually. What happens in everywhere in the even in the agriculture, the law of demand operates. That means when supply increases, obviously the price falls. This is law of supply. It when supply increases, the price falls. So what happens? Agriculture is such an activity that the harvesting is done all over India almost at the same time, when the supply of food grain increased a lot. So what happened? How it affects the economy? So due to larger supply of food grain, the price of the food grain fell so low that the farmer never even get in return what he has invested in that agricultural activity. So, in order to solve this problem, in order to ensure the farmers right price and profitability, what happened? The government declared MSP, that is minimum support price for the produce. Minimum support price what? That is the price declared by government of some crops, some major crops like food grains, like dals and all major foodstuffs. So what happened? Actually, the price in a free market should be determined by the interaction of the forces of demand and supply. In our later chapters, we will be discussing in detail. Now just I am giving a hints about that. So in actual practice, in a free economy, the price of everything should be determined by the market force of demand and supply. And if we leave the price to be determined by market force of demand and supply, the price becomes so low that the farmers never become able to earn any profit. So in order to solve the problem of the farmers, the government declared a minimum support price. So there is hardly any buyer to purchase at a higher price. So it became the duty of the government to purchase all the food grains produced by the farmers directly from them, and to keep it or to maintain buffer stocks so that at time of emergency it can be used and either or it can be exported, and in this way the country would earn some precious foreign exchange. So these are the problems, these are the things that were changed under the section of general factors in order to make agriculture more profitable, and this is all about the changes brought in agricultural sector. And Tomorrow we will be discussing about the Planning Commission of India and the era of planning, different 5-year plans. So if you are getting any doubt, then just consult me, go through the book, go through the videos, go through the notes, and in case of doubt you contact me. Thank you and have a nice day.